My name is Alton Brown. I cook stuff and make TV shows about cooking stuff. My new project is called Good Eats, The Return. Let's talk. It's been almost 7 years since we released a new episode of Good Eats. Well, I'm thinking we're back. Good Eats, The Return launches the 25th of August 19 with 13 freshly baked episodes, and I'm ready to talk about them. So excited for the reboot of Good Eats. I started watching that show when I was 12, and it was always my favorite cooking show. My question is, what is your go-to meal to cook when you have no idea what else to make? Roast chicken and waffles. Mr. Brown. I've seen you twice at Gumtree in Hermosa Beach now, and never got up the courage to say hi and thank you for inspiring me and so many others to cook. So this is me saying hi. And thank you. Also, what's your coffee order? These days, black and hot. Have you had a chance to read the Food Lab, and what did you think? I'm sure Kenji took a great deal of inspiration from Good Eats. Best food book since on food and cooking. I don't know if Kenji got any inspiration at all from Good Eats. He's brilliant. What was the hardest thing to learn to cook properly? No matter how good you are, I would say this is an ongoing battle, one that never truly ends. Do you know ahead of time what the secret ingredient will be on Iron Chef? You always seem to know so much about it. Yes, I always knew. But look at it this way, that was only one ingredient. What I didn't know was what special ingredients the chefs would bring with them. That was always a mystery and forced me to think quick. I always lost weight on that show just from stress. Alton, I've been a huge fan of Good Eats for most of my life. My dad and I used to watch it together, and it's been a big influence on my love of cooking. We saw your live show in Portland a few years back, and it was so special to have that moment with him. My question is, what new food movements and trends are you most excited about, as a chef, and as a consumer of Good Eats? I'd love to be able to answer this, but I generally just hate trends. But if I had to pick one, it's probably the slow acceptance of vegetarian food as just good rather than vegetarian. How do you decide what to make for dinner? Step 1. Open the refrigerator door. That's a meal I usually call pasta whatever you got, sir. Will the show be different in format? Also, do you remember those badass cabinet drawers you had on the show that rolled out? Those were awesome and I think about them constantly with envy. Everything is better and my cabinets are more badass than ever. Thanks for bringing back the Good Eats universe. What is the dish that got away and you could not make it into a show? Sweetbreads. I, for one, would be happy to watch an awful episode of Good Eats. I've never seen an awful episode before, they've all been excellent. I'm so stoked. What made you decide to bring back the show? Which show that you've been on have you enjoyed the most? I always planned on bringing Jay back. I'd planned on a 5-year break, but due to the second live show, Eat Your Science, I got off schedule. Good Eats is my one and only baby. Everything else is frosting, excuse the mixed metaphor there. I'd never put frosting on a baby. I'd never put frosting on a baby. Dusting in powdered sugar and a hint of cayenne pepper, the more traditional technique. There's a modest proposal that I can get behind. Is Lucky Yates back with the show? Not in this set, but we hope to be able to get him in the future. Hey Alton, longtime fan. I want to thank you for the way you have changed and deepened my appreciation and understanding of food and the culture surrounding it. I love how Jay gives a cross-section of a particular food item by telling the history origins of it, explaining the chemical process behind its preparation, and then showing you how to make it. You've enriched my life immeasurably, and you've created one of the best shows ever, IAmA. Just wanted to tell you that. Only question I could think of to ask is, what's your favorite restaurant in LA, both high-end and more affordable? Looking forward to the new season. Thank you so much for your comment. My favorite restaurant in LA is, and always will be, Masu and Frank. Will you continue to do Comic-Cons with Adam Savage? I love watching y'all live your best lives together on the floor. No. That's not really my world, and honestly Adam is way too smart to hang out with the likes of me. He's a marvel, honestly. FWIW, I think you're both geniuses in your own right and unbelievably fun when you're together. Thank you for the reply. Hi Alton. I wanted to first thank you so much for the original Good Eats. When I was growing up, I spent my weeknights staying up past my bedtime watching rerun after rerun. Fast forward 10 years to me completing my BA in culinary science in August of last year. You were the first source of culinary inspiration and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. My question is regarding the current trend of fine dining. It seems the growing gourmet casual scene is becoming more popular than the traditional suit and tie fine dining. I've also found that, in my own dining experience, the chefs behind the menus in these restaurants tend to pump out better, more creative food in far more approachable atmosphere. My favorite restaurant right now is Coquette in New Orleans. They gave me a better dining experience with similar quality ingredients at a quarter of the price of some traditional fine dining restaurants within a couple blocks. Have you found this to be true in other cities? Do you think this trend will continue? Other thoughts? Thanks. All I'm going to say is that my favorite restaurant has tablecloths, waiters in uniforms, cold martinis and perfect steaks. I have my table and I go there often enough to keep it that way. I'm a huge fan of fine, but not fussy, dining.